Go, action.
So, I need to go with Mommy everywhere. Everywhere at the world. Everywhere. And everywhere on the plane. We went to Houston. We went to Las Vegas. We went to Atlanta. And that's it. Okay. My trip was great. And I loved it. It took too long. Mommy came with me. It was for hours. The flight may be great, but it's always great because when we travel around, it's so great. That's it.
Hello everybody. Hi. Welcome to my channel. It is Ferrari and yes, and we wanted to talk to you guys about a recent trip that we took to Europe. I travel all the time. If you guys are familiar with me and my channel, I actually work with a travel company, and it's our channel. He wants me to let everybody know that it's our channel. I travel a lot, but ordinarily I do not bring my son with me. But this time I decided to take him. We went to London, Paris, Istanbul, and Antalya, Turkey. And I had to go to London for a work event. But after that, I was completely free, and he wanted to see the Eiffel Tower. He said that he had heard about it in a Peppa Pig episode, so I wanted to take him with me. I was a little bit hesitant to take him because it's such a long flight, but typically he is a really great traveler when we travel domestically. So let me tell you about the flight and what we did. So the flight there was great. For anybody that has children,
And long.
it was very long. But for anyone that has children, you are wondering, how they're going to behave on a flight. My recommendation is to take an extremely early or late night flight so they can sleep. The flight is going to be between 10 and 16 hours, just depending on where you're coming from. So it is really long. But if you were to take a flight, let's just say midnight or 2 in the morning or something like that, or even maybe 10 o'clock or something,
And make sure you bring the kids.
when they're already ready to go to sleep, it knocks off a good 8 hours of your trip because they're sleeping. That is tip number 1.
Yeah.
Travel tip number 2. If I'm going to buy an adult ticket, I'm going to make sure he has an adult carry-on. With Enzo, he's 4 years old, so he is considered an adult. He has to have an adult ticket. Now, some parents may want to have these cute little backpacks or these cute little roller bags for their kids so that their kids can carry them. But I personally feel if I'm going to pay for an adult ticket for my 4-year-old, he's going to have an adult size bag, and that allows me to bring more things. But tip number 3, if you are going to be taking the later flight towards the time that they're sleeping, and you're going to be taking carry-on bags that they cannot carry themselves, you have to have some way to carry your baggage. And I learned the hard way. The first time we went to Houston, we took a 12 a.m. flight. I had 2 bags. He was knocked out, and I was struggling through the airport with these bags. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do, right? I took a Frontier flight. The flight was only $50. I'm into bargains and stuff when it comes to my son, and so I learned the hard way. But the next time, what I decided to do was to get a wheelchair. So this is kind of a travel secret or secret tip or something that I discovered, is that you can get a wheelchair. Let's just say you don't see any carts or anything. You can get a wheelchair and put your kid in the wheelchair and put your baggage in the wheelchair so you can just speed through the airport while they're sleeping. Now, the last time I did that, I was informed by the airport personnel that was not allowed. But what I discovered is that you can wait for a wheelchair service for your child. And this may seem extreme, you guys, but it personally worked for me. You can request a wheelchair for your child, and then you can sit in the wheelchair with them, and they can sit on your lap, and they'll like handle your luggage and everything. And number one, you don't have to worry about your child sleeping. You don't have to worry about your carry-on bags, and you can skip to the front of the security line when you have your child with you in a wheelchair. So that was really amazing. I was like, oh, that's awesome. But if you don't want to go through those extremes, I would recommend to make sure that you buy yourself a cart. Like, don't try to save money, because it is a struggle going through the airport with your carry-on bags.
So long.
It is so long.
And you can easily take a nap.
Yeah. You have to really pick your battles. It's like either you're gonna pick a daytime flight and they're gonna be antsy and like, you know, when are we gonna get there? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Or you can pick an overnight flight where they're like sleeping, you know, they're not bothering you. And so when you do that, typically when you get to the airport, they're already knocked out because it's their bedtime. So get a wheelchair or get a cart. Number 4, travel tip number 4 is to just make sure that you have, you know, snacks and pull-ups and entertainment and everything they need. So on the flight,
and make sure they have TVs.
And make sure they have TVs, yes, because on the flight to London, for some reason, there were no TVs. Like, the TVs did not work. And I didn't download any movies or anything, because typically when I travel internationally, we have TVs. And then make sure that you have some snacks that they like, because the airline,
Even fruit snacks.
Even fruit snacks. The airlines, they will give you food, but they may not give you what they enjoy. But how did you enjoy your trip?
It was great.
It was great. So the first stop was London. We went to London. I did an event there, and it was pretty cool. We didn't really get a chance to do a lot while we were there, because it was just a stop so that I was able to do my presentation. He dressed up. He had on his little suit. And then we took a quick trip or flight to Paris because he wanted to see the Eiffel Tower. He saw it in a Peppa Pig episode, and there was not much time. Like, we had just a short little window to work with. So we took a flight to Paris, and he was able to at least see the outside of the Eiffel Tower. Yes, he saw the outside of the Eiffel Tower. We didn't have enough time to go all the way up because it was a long line. It was getting late, and I had other things to do for the trip. But he did get a chance to see it. He got to take tons of pictures, and it was pretty cool. And so after Paris,
and we got Eiffel Tower, and we lost.
We bought him an Eiffel Tower, but we lost it. It was like a little mini light up Eiffel Tower, but we lost it because of like all of the trip.
No!
Little flights in between.
I want to be in my room next to my TV and my dinosaur. And then he lost it, so I couldn't do it.
After the Eiffel Tower, we took a train to the airport so that we could go to our next destination, which was Istanbul.
We missed our train, so we took another one.
I don't think we missed the train.
We did.
Oh, okay. Well, according to him, we missed the train.
We did. Mom.
We took a train to the airport, and then we got on another flight going to Istanbul. I believe that flight was about 4 hours or so, and it wasn't that bad because it wasn't late. I mean, because it was late and he was tired, so he slept that whole way. We landed in Istanbul, I think it was like 3 in the morning, and then I pretty much stayed up. Your stomach hurts?
We can still do that.
All right. I pretty much stayed up all morning because I wanted to like see everything early, bright and early. So, and we had breakfast at 7. The hotel had breakfast. We had breakfast in the morning, and then we got to see some things in Istanbul. And I've been there before, so.
Then we went to Turkey.
Well, Istanbul is Turkey. They have tons of mosques there, which is really cool. Stayed there for a couple days.
And
then took a really short flight to Antalya. It was only about an hour.
And you took me some ice cream.
And then it was kind of a disaster after that because I gave him ice cream, which he wants to get to that. And he's still having stomach issues since that day. We went to a resort that was about an hour away from the airport. So that was kind of a doozy, like having to drive an hour away from the airport to get to the resort. But the resort was really, really nice, all inclusive. I'm talking about like bowling, arcade, stuff for the kids to do, like activities, painting. They have a beautiful beach, so he got to swim in the sea.
And water got in my eye and my mouth.
And it was really salty, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But he got to swim in the sea. We got, they had a convenience store, so we were able to buy him like floaties. He got to swim in the sea. They even had like a kids area that had slides and waterfalls and things like that he could play in, and the water was about like knee deep, so that was really cool. Then I gave him ice cream. And so I've known that he's like lactose intolerant, but I didn't realize that he's like severely allergic until this trip. And
that was horrible.
Horrible. When I tell you, it was just such a bad idea. It was horrible. He had the ice cream and he was fine, but then the next day he woke up with a super high fever and he just had diarrhea. His stomach was hurting. We were gonna stay at the resort another night, but he was just so sick that we had to end the trip early because he just was so sick and he couldn't enjoy anything. We
went home.
We ended up wrapping up the trip. Our flight was at 7:15. He got a couple of hours of sleep, but he was pretty much awake the entire flight. And he's a good traveler, but
I get lots of stickers and stamps and
yeah, he gets, you know, he's an A1 traveler for sure. But even for me, this flight was long. I kept looking like, oh my god, we have 5 more hours. It was like a 16-hour flight. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Those are my travel tips. I do plan on taking him on more trips, but probably not as long of a flight. We'll probably do more tropical, like Bahamas and things like that, which is a lot closer, because at the end of the day, the main thing that he wants to do is be at the beach. So I'm going to reserve all of the beach trips for him and all of the sightseeing trips and things like that for me until he gets a little bit older and can appreciate all of the rest of the stuff. He got his passport just in the nick of time, so you guys can see that he
has a stamp.
He has a stamp right there. Ta-da. Right there. He got a stamp. And you also got a sticker, right? I remember it right there. He got a stamp and a sticker. Enzo, the world traveler. Enzo, the passport kid. Mwah. All right, say bye-bye to everybody.
Bye-bye.
Did you have anything else to say?
Do you?
No, I'm good.
If you have anything to say, I do. If you don't, I don't.
All right, well, that's it. Bye-bye, everybody.